Statistics show that many DACA participants are enrolled in universities like this one. You don't even have to leave your kitchen. Just go to rescue.utah.gov. These windows and doors are not the originals. The city issued a stop work order from shoulder to head impact. That's why Exo Nano is targeting these areas. These solar panels pay themselves back in about 10 years by generating energy. The only Velcro shoes I could find were these Dr. Scholl's and these Walmart ones. This is a huge announcement and everyone is very excited. The repeal of net neutrality rules may not only affect tech companies, but it could also affect your everyday internet use.
When you hear the word cake, I'm pretty sure a web browser is not what comes to your head.
A new browser designed specifically for mobile.
This Provo startup will launch in the US in January. It's going well, but marketing director Chris Crosby is worried about the future of internet neutrality.
It's going to significantly and drastically influence the way that people experience the internet.
In 2015, the FCC banned internet service providers from treating any web page different from any other.
And that just makes sense. Like, why should there be faster internet for some and slower internet for others?
Most internet service providers are against net neutrality. I called a lot of them and was finally able to get a hold of one, X-Mission. And what I heard surprised me.
X-Mission believes that the internet functions best when it's neutral, when we don't have to govern traffic on it and decide who gets to go fast and who gets to go slow.
How will the FCC's plans to end net neutrality rules affect you? Imagine this possible scenario. You go to watch a movie on Netflix and get the spinning wheel of death. You call Netflix only to find out you now have to pay for faster loading times.
The consumer is going to pay more for services that they didn't pay for in the past.
Cake would also suffer.
Slower loading times means a worse experience as you swipe through content.
FCC Chairman Ajit Pai says the rules depressed investment in broadband networks and deterred innovation. He says that with his proposal, the federal government will stop micromanaging the internet. But Crosby doesn't see the possible repeal as frosting on his cake.
I see it as a large step backwards in the infrastructure of the web.
The FCC will vote on the proposal to end net neutrality rules this coming Thursday. If it passes, we don't know yet when the changes would go into effect.
Thanks, Ciara. Pixar has explored many worlds and is now taking us to the next one. 11 News reporter Ciara Hulet got an inside look at the new film. Ciara, what's the film called?
It's called Coco, and it explores Mexican culture. One of Pixar's animators, Emmer Grover, is a BYU graduate. He has now worked on Up, Brave, Inside Out, Finding Dory, and now Coco.
Thank you. Really, really helpful.
For the last 2.5 years, Emmer Grover has created clothing for skeletons.
We're digital tailors, just like a pattern maker and a seamstress.
Grover's sole job is to clothe fake Pixar people.
Put kind of a bra under her, so there's just a little...
His latest animated movie is Coco, a tale weaved around a Mexican holiday called Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. It is a sacred day to celebrate the lives of those who have passed on.
To celebrate, many dress up like this. Coco was first released in Mexico the weekend before Day of the Dead.
Grover's director had an unusual motto.
Embrace the skeleton. We want to really show off and show the contrast between the human world and the skeleton world. So like for the men, we opened the collars. We didn't have undershirts like under and over a jacket, so you could see the rib cage, you could see the vertebrae going down. For the females, we cinched the dresses around the vertebrae, so you had this really cool shape.
But don't bother trying to count all of the costumes.
We built over 690 costume variations.
What?
You will also see Thomas Ellsworth's subtle influence in the movie.
So nothing that I did will ever be seen on screen directly. So this is a good example.
Ellsworth programmed lighting tools for the animators.
It made it faster and easier for them to light.
Grover hopes you'll leave the film feeling a little closer to those on the other side.
I hope they feel a connection with their family, how their ancestors have shaped who they are, even without them knowing.
Even though the film has already been released in Mexico, you have to wait until November 22nd to see it.